Welcome to Stock Talk. This is your host, Scott. Hope you had last couple of days, good days in the market. Market was down both days, 500 points yesterday and about 631 today. So even though you had a down market, you can still have a good day making some good purchases. So we're going to talk about some of the purchases I've made. And we'll just kind of look at our portfolio, see where we are on that, as well as the after hours, and see what's going on in pre-market. And then we're going to talk about tomorrow as far as the game plan goes. And so let's just jump right into it and take a look at our portfolio. Let's get over to that. So here's our portfolio today. Like I said, it was a down day, 600 and something points. We do have a couple that managed to eke out a little bit of green here, so that's always good when you can get a couple of green ones in a down day like today. But let's take a look at the big loser here today was NVAX. NVAX down 9.54%. Now, it may look like a big loser today, but yesterday this thing was going crazy. It went all the way up to 26.34 of a high yesterday. Now, if you'll recall, the day before that, I actually sold my shares out of my IRA, and I still have some in my cash account, but I missed that $5 run up by one day. So that happens to you sometimes, but again, it's always about having that price that you're happy with, that you can live with, and what happens after that that's just what happens. So that's what happened to me yesterday. So I was watching it real close today, and it did open up pretty strong, as you see here. It got all the way up to, on the open, about 25.46 there. Let's see what the high was for today. Days range 26.10. So it must have actually opened up there somewhere a little bit higher. It says the high days range today was 26.10. So let's assume that's correct. So it opened up near the high of yesterday. So that was good. I guess that's including probably pre-market. But bottom line is this, it did start to drop. So I went ahead and started nibbling a little bit on this at 23.20 today. 23.20 would have been about right in here somewhere. And so we bought some there. And I was hoping it would make a quick bounce and get back up to that 26 range real quick, but it didn't do it. So it went back, it kept going down. As you can see here, it went all the way down to the low today, 22.75, or let's see here. The low today, 19.26 it looks like, or 19.18 actually was the actual low. So it got down pretty low, but I did wait and watch, and then when I started seeing it kind of settle, I did go back and pick some up at $20 a share. So nibbled a little bit. These are not big lots of shares I'm buying. These are small lots. I'm just trying to get back into it, and I like to have that in both my accounts. I was running there for a little while with just it in one account, so I'd like to have it in both accounts. So actually, cost average down to just about the price it closed at today. I think I'm in at 21.60 cost average. So I bought it at 23.20 and $20 even lot. So you can figure that out. But I think it's 21.60. So very close to where it closed. Now after hours, we do see here it's up $1.07. I checked the volume on that. The volume's not anything crazy to look at. So that just may be some crazy after hours. We'll see how it does tomorrow. But notice the volume. This is another reason I went ahead and bought. Okay, normally I don't buy that quick. I was waiting for it to drop, but when I yesterday had a large volume of shares when it went up so high. It looked like a pretty good short squeeze going on, and today we still had a large number of shares. You can see the volume here was pretty much heavy at the very first. Probably the first few hours up to about 11:30. But a good volume, steady all day, but you had 15 million shares trade on normal 9 million. So that's another reason I kind of got involved again, because this volume, when I was getting out, was it was running lower than the average. It was running, 4 and 5 million shares versus the 9 million average. So when I saw that low volume, it made me think, well, there's not a whole lot of interest in this thing, but they came right back in the day after I left. So that's what happens sometimes. But those are the big boys. When you start seeing them shares like that, that's big boys playing with it. And so I'm back in the middle of it. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully the big boys are driving it up and not down. So we'll see. All right. So, and again, it's just a few shares. It was not a tremendous amount of shares. I still have those shares also, not a lot of shares, but they're in my cash account. So I've never been completely out of it. Don't think I will be anytime soon because I won't be trading those shares in the cash account. All right, so looks like the big loser for the day, but it's actually just giving back about a half of what it did yesterday. Okay, so MPC was down again. That oil is the story right now. Oil is just unreal. What's going on with that as far as the price of oil? It's a real complicated thing that I've been learning a lot more about oil prices than I've ever wanted to know last couple of days, but we'll talk about that probably when we get around to the oil, take a look at what the prices are. But that's not helping MPC any. But they're hanging in there. They're doing the best they can. I did try to get some of that today. Let's see. I tried, but I didn't get it. I tried to get MPC. I also tried to get some SPY today, and we're not able to do that. But I did get some DIA today. Was happy about that. Got it at 230. So we're back into DIA at 230. EXAS, I was able to cost average down a little bit more on that. EXAS, let me pull that chart up for just a second. And let's see if I can get the after hours chart. Let's go over to let's see if I can get that. But after hours, it was kind of acting strange. It actually got all the way up. There it is. Got all the way up to $80 almost, $79.99, and then it's dropped back down in after hours, back down to $74. So kind of some crazy stuff going on in after hours. I'm not sure what that's all about. It looks like maybe some information came out about their earnings, but I couldn't find it anywhere. But when I was reading on the message boards there, it did talk. I did see where people were talking about some of the earnings numbers. So, but you can't always trust what you read on those message boards. But we'll see how it goes tomorrow. It looks like some folks got excited about whatever it was, and then some folks got unexcited. So we'll see. But Exact Science, I like that one. No matter how it goes tomorrow, I'm still going to be glad I'm in it because I'm glad I cost average. I may get to cost average a little bit more, but I think that thing's going back up one of these days. So, and that's one I've not been trading since 1999. I've been fooling with this one, on and off. So, been a long time. All right, so that's where we're at on that one. Other ones, pretty much the market, 4%, 3%, 2%, nothing major. Green ones we had were GBTC, which is our Bitcoin. We had X up about 1.5%, but it was down yesterday. Cliff was up 5%, and that would be our big winner for the day would be Cliff, but it's gotten beaten up so much. Yesterday it was down a pretty good bit, so just trying to get back some ground from yesterday probably. All right, so that's our portfolio. Let's take a look at our after hours. We've had 2 rough days in a row. I've been kind of expecting a pullback. These 2 days in a row, that equals about 1,000 points. The market's gone down, so I'm not sure what it's going to do tomorrow. But I think what we see driving it down is all this oil talk, and so there's some contracts that ended today that may stop some of that talk. So maybe we'll have a decent day tomorrow. Congress is trying to work on this additional money for small business. I think the Senate will probably get it passed. They said tonight or tomorrow, and then the House, of course, we'll have to get the House involved with it. So we'll see how that goes. But let's go ahead and take a look at our after hours. Let's go over to there. Okay, so our futures for tomorrow, it looks like we got a green across the board, but just barely. I mean, we're just barely up, so it's nothing to get real excited about. Stock futures rise, rebounding from 2 days of steep losses. So yeah, so we can expect that. This does look like the Senate did pass 484 billion on the coronavirus bill for small business and hospital relief and testing. And I know that was something that the House was looking for, was some of this other testing and hospital relief. So maybe it'll get on and get voted and get approved here real quick. Like that can't hurt the market. Where all this money's coming from, I'll never know, but that's going to be something we have to worry about later on, I guess. Asia, let's take a look at Asia. Asia, we got looks like they got some red all the way across here. Nikki's down to 1.5%, Shanghai down 0.5%, and then Hong Kong down 1%. So they're not starting out too good. Let's take a look at oil. So you look at the oil here, and I don't know if you got a chance to look at this yesterday, but this thing was down a negative $30-something, and it's if you go read up on it, it's what this thing is talking about are these contracts, and what it is these speculators buy these contracts saying, I'm going to deliver some oil to you at this price here. And then what they do is they trade those contracts, during the month. During the month, of course, they expire at a certain time. And as it gets closer and closer to the time of expiration, those contracts usually are pretty close to the actual price of a barrel of oil. Okay? But what happened yesterday is nobody wanted the oil. I mean, there's so much oil out there, there's nowhere to deliver it. And it was just a bad situation, and that those contracts were going for nothing. So there's something, if you want to go read up on it, there's all kinds of articles you can probably go find here, but it's just real interesting to see how all that worked. But you can see here it's saying that crude oil is 13.14. This has to do with the May contracts. Brent's 19.13, but you'll see here, it says June oil futures contract dropped more than 40% as crude oil continues unprecedented sell-off. So the contracts for May was really bad, and so now June's coming up, and June looked more like a $20 a barrel of oil, but now those contracts are starting to get in trouble, and they're falling 40%. So that's something just keep an eye on. That oil is just, there's a glutton. From what I heard, China and Russia were supposed to, and OPEC, and not China, but OPEC and Russia, I think, were calling an emergency meeting again. Now, let's see how that goes. But the problem is what I understand is the problem is being with these oil. You can't just turn off an oil well. It's a lot of work to do that, and it's a lot of work to start it back up, and it's also some of them they talk like if they shut them down, they won't come back up. So that just adds fuel to the fire, So we'll see how that goes, but there's going to have to be something done. We've got to get this economy turned up, and the whole world. It's not just the United States, because there's this glutton of oil out there, and there's nowhere to put the oil. I mean, there's just nowhere to put it. So it's going to be a tough go, and that's going to be probably driving some of this market, and that's probably affecting the market the last 2 days than the coronavirus has. So we'll keep an eye on that. So that's where we're at on that. I was trying to see if I could find anything about the futures and those kind of things, but we'll just have to keep an eye on that oil price. If it drives this market down further, we're just going to do like we did today, make some purchases. Again, we bought NVAX, we bought DIA, and we bought EXAS today. We tried for MPC, and we tried for SPY, and we didn't get it. So you can bet tomorrow if it's another down day. Those two I'll go after again if they're down, MPC and SPY. Novavax, I'll be holding that. I'll be trying to make some quick money on that. get a quick turnaround on it if I can. You know, if I can get 4 or 5% in a few days, I'll be taking that. Of course, my goal is always 6% for the year, but if I can get 4 or 5% in a few days, I'll do that as well. So, but looks like the market may start out a little green. We may have some good news tomorrow about the funding, so we may have a green day. So maybe some opportunities. Got a lot of them that are in good shape now that we've had a pretty good comeback. So may be able to unload some if this market starts to turn back up from that 1,000-point drop. But we're in pretty good shape on some of those. So we'll keep looking at that. Other than that, we'll just keep our eyes open for opportunities on any of those that we want to cost average. There's some others that I've been thinking about that I may get into, but really got to watch this drawback. That's 2 days in a row. If we get another day like that tomorrow, then we may have to just kind of sit back and watch things for a little while if it keeps dropping like it's dropping. Okay? So appreciate you watching the videos, and appreciate you subscribing. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. Tell your friends about the channel, and I'll try to get on here tomorrow night sometime, and we'll talk about what happened tomorrow. Have a great day, and good day of trading. Thanks. Bye. To subscribe, click the button in the right-hand corner. Thank you.